Welcome back to Geekshow Helpdesk.
Here at last. Back again.
Hey, we're back.
Oh, there's Lando waking up.
We
I
just
was
turned
reading my story.
Sorry, we just turned Lando on a couple minutes ago. We just keep him in the closet till it's ready to start the show, and then we
Still
just
booting up.
And confirm.
Yep.
That's what we used to say about James.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, they are related through marriage.
They are.
got some-
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Not
is
that they're
the
married to
through
each
marriage?
other, but
Is the through marriage qualifier really important?
I
Yeah, I
so,
think-
yeah.
I
yeah.
just it
Are
goes
you
to show
inferring
how
it's a less than relationship?
I'm just
or
saying
better?
you can see how powerful James's influence is on the people around them, that even though not related by blood, which he's not related to anybody by blood, his family.
Is this true?
His children.
Sorry, James. It can rub off on you.
Oh, anyway, this is the Geekshow Helpdesk where we talk about tech gadgets and
I love
sciencey
James. I want to come out and publicly say that I love James.
related
Aw.
things.
Me too.
And let's start off by introducing our panelists. Hey, it's guest panelist, Uncle Squinky.
Hi there, Uncle Squinky here, joining for the night because I happen to have the night off.
Hey. All right, we got Lando down here.
Hey, that's me. I'm Lando. That's it.
All right. We got Owen eating his sushi dinner.
That's right. Having a little sushi. If you
Hey,
want to be
hey.
truly disgusted, go watch this live on YouTube or watch the YouTube, and you'll watch me eat this entire episode. I will try to keep that out of your ears. But yeah, that's
That's
Tony.
that's
That was Tony.
unprofessional.
That was Tony. To be fair, that was Jaron. You guys, we just lost 13 followers.
But I think we gained 7 who are into that.
Ooh, oh,
So-
a little AS.
So it's only a net loss of 6.
There
That's
you go.
the eating fetish.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Well, and he's the short, angry one. He's Jaron.
I love James.
Thank you, Jaron.
Yeah. We got a host. His name's Tony.
Hey, check me out on the Twitters at Quad T. I remembered to tweet something today for the first time, I think, in 2 weeks. But there you go. You know what it was is I think we should give Pluto an honorary planet status.
I agree.
When you've been doing it for as long as he did, why would you take that away from him?
Yeah,
Come
it
on.
shouldn't be honorary. He actually just reinstated.
Just reinstate his planet status.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Give him at least the honorary.
Yeah, at the very least. At the very least. You know?
He's earned it.
All right. Do we have any emails?
Yeah, we got plenty.
How many's plenty?
4.
That is plenty.
So let's go through these quick.
I did not know you could quantify the word plenty.
Yes. A couple is 2, a few is 3, plenty is 4.
He's
What
an
is
accountant.
5?
5 is
5.
5.
Here.
Yeah.
Does 5 not have a word?
A multitude, maybe?
Obscene.
Plentier.
When do we reach a? Never mind. Keep going.
Okay.
Email time.
It's a family show.
Email
A
time.
load. An
Got-
S load.
We got one from Juan. He says, "Hey gents, I'm looking to get a new sound bar for my living room. Thought I could use your help on this one. I'm looking at the under $200 range and want a sound bar with the bar only. In other words, I don't want extra subwoofers or speakers or any of that jazz.
You didn't say there was no subwoofer.
Any recommendations? Thank you so much."
Way to lead me down the wrong path for research for this answer here, Jaron. Crime.
Oh, you have access to the email too. Jeez.
I depend on you for
Let
this.
me tell you right now, I went and got the Samsung one at Costco.
Yeah, but
we had
is
to
it
buy
under
this up.
is it under $200?
Yeah, I think it was like 180.
And when have you ever talked about sound quality, Owen?
Never. But he's not asking for sound
So how
quality.
do
He
we
put
know?
a price. He put a price down.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna-
Let's
if
have
you're gonna
someone
go-
who spends an inordinate
It's
amount of
also-
money on
Yeah.
audio equipment
He
to
wants
answer
it
his
for
question.
$200, so you're out.
Owen?
You're already disqualified,
Psh,
bud. Hey, my guy.
I'm with Owen on this one. Just for the record, if you have a price tag,
Alright.
just go find the one that matches your price and buy that one. It's going to be better than what your TVs does.
It's
Yeah.
kind of it will absolutely be better than your TV speakers.
See? I'm not wrong.
regardless. So
Must
I
mean I'm
would
right.
say My
Thanks, Landon.
my
Owen?
recommendation
Here,
hasn't-
Owen, do the thing.
my recommendation hasn't
Other way.
changed. You guys are so stupid.
I felt cool.
My recommendation hasn't changed from what I would already research. I would say check out what Vizio has. They have a very good bang for your buck as far as sound bars go. And I would also really consider rethinking your no subwoofer policy because
True.
a subwoofer
That's a terrible policy.
adds so
I
much
gotta agree with
depth
that.
to the sound. It is
Yeah.
it is much better, and there are several options from Vizio, wireless subwoofers.
Wireless,
mind
that's
you,
what I got.
wireless, for under $200.
They don't need to be by the TV.
No.
They sound best in a corner.
So I put mine.
So-
I have a Vizio set upstairs. I went with the 5.1, so it's got some rear satellite speakers, which
Are those wireless
also,
too?
Those are wireless too. They
Oh,
plug
yeah.
into the wireless subwoofer, so I just have to plug that into power, and then I have that behind the couch.
See, right now, Best Buy, $249
So-
for that. For the Samsung one. I don't see the Vizio one, but Best
I
Buy
have a
has
Samsung one. I really like
the
it.
Samsung with the wireless subwoofer for $249.
You can find, like I said, several Vizio options
Yeah.
too for under 200 with
Yeah,
the
that's
wireless
true.
subwoofer. So, but they do have some subwoofer less options as well for around. They're even cheaper. They're like $100. Yeah,
Which
see
will
what-
still be better than your TV speakers
will.
for
See-
sure.
Okay, moving on so we can get through all these email.
anything from LG or Samsung as well will be around that price and be better than your TV speaker.
Which means, Owen, you're not allowed to talk ever.
You got it. Wait. I mean, I got a lot of food to eat. I've been.
Eat your sushi.
He's still
All right.
talking.
All right. Got an email from Mishmash. Hey guys, it's been a while. I have 2 questions. The second is not necessarily for the podcast. Ooh, you know what that means. First, I'd like your personal
I
thoughts
don't.
on the different types of multi-factor authentication and what you think is reasonable to balance security with convenience. My company has bounced between 3 different types in the last couple of years, which makes it seem like they don't know what they're doing. The current version
they don't.
requires physically touching a device. I've turned on MFA for many of my personal accounts where it's offered, but now I worry that what I'm doing is not enough. Keep up the good work. I am an end user, and I do care.
Oh, that's the best. Who's gonna? Can I say words first, or is Tony gonna say words first?
I think this is a good one for Owen.
He's muted himself and his mouth.
So
is
what
full
does
of
he mean
sushi.
by different types of MFAs?
well-
you talking about like text versus like an app kind
Yeah.
of types?
Yeah,
was gonna
or
say,
like
any 2FA
Authy or something like that.
Any 2FA is better than no 2FA. That is for sure.
1000%.
That is for
Okay,
sure.
join me and Jaren in the upper echelons and get Bitwarden with the automatic MFA key that comes in.
It's built in. It's great.
It's
I
built
have
in.
Bitwarden. I don't use your automatic key though. You know why? That's a security risk to have your password and your automatic
But it's easier.
2-factor built in. It is easier.
Well,
It
you're
is easier.
sacrificing security for ease.
Yep, that's how
Owen?
it goes. So
Yep.
I use Google Authenticator for my 2-factor, and I use Bitwarden for my password vault.
Does Google Authenticator sync between devices yet?
Finally,
does,
yes,
yeah.
it does.
Okay,
As
because
of about a
Authy
year.
Authy has been for a while, so I use Authy now.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about security, right? It's a layered approach, right? Password vault better than no password vault. MFA better than no MFA, right? And then there's levels that helps get you more and more secure, right? So it's all these different layers and taking itty bitty little steps. But by far the biggest step you can take to securing your accounts is 2FA,
Yep.
right? That's a huge step towards security.
What is
Everything
that?
else is like
2-factor authentication.
two-factor.
2FA.
Oh, we
It's the
just
same as
we're
MFA.
calling it MFA.
MFA just
Multi-factor
means
is different.
multi-factor authentication.
Right.
Right,
That's
but
the
then everything
next
after that
gen.
is like little baby steps to getting better, right? They're all good, but they're not going to be as big of a jump as 2FA, whatever we're calling it today. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
It's
I
but they're all good to do and do them.
Let me just say this: I have a guy that I know that says 2MFA, and I took
That guy's
issue with
wrong.
this. I took issue with this, and so I went and no kidding. In the last 3 weeks, this has been. I had an ADHD rabbit hole of the difference. There is no such thing as 2MFA.
No.
There's 2FA
That's a combination
and there's
of both.
MFA.
Yeah.
They have separate definitions. 2FA being the standard text to a cell phone, an email to
Right.
get the code. MFA is something you're literally holding with a code that rotates. Anyway,
Like a YubiKey.
Yeah.
Love my
Wants to
YubiKey.
have 2 of those.
Multiple 2-factor?
Yeah, if you have a
Maybe that's what
YubiKey
it
and
is.
it's like if there's no other way,
multiple
you should have a backup. Yeah.
So 2 YubiKeys, like shooting a missile from a submarine. You have to have 2 people doing it at the same time.
yeah.
That's
That'd be
very
awesome.
secure.
Super secure. Now, keep in mind though, the 2-factor authentication that is a text to your phone is the least secure
Exactly.
of the multi-factor, but it is still
Because text
definitely
is
better
not.
than none. Definitely much better than none. But yeah, it's easier for someone to get access to those text authentication pieces than it is to like an authenticator app result and things like that.
Moving on. I got an email from Argo Spartan.
What was the second question?
He said not to read it on the show.
It's not for
Oh.
the show.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's for
What about the-
private
Yeah,
times.
yep.
What about
Argo
the
Spartan, he
in-between?
says, "Hey guys, check this out. Immediately thought of you guys when I read this. Thoughts? My question is how long till it can come to market." He sent in a BS, which is actually on the show notes today, about a Samsung solid-state battery that's coming for EVs.
We talked about this last week. I had a story about this.
We did?
Yeah,
I remember.
600-mile range.
Oh, okay.
So, Jared,
minutes
Mr.
to
I'm
charge.
so passionate. Don't remember
Last
nothing.
20 years.
No passion. You don't care.
Yeah, last 20 years. See, even Squinky remembers it.
Well, to drill it into everyone's heads. 600-mile range, 9-minute charging, 20-year lifespan. They're testing it for manufacturers right now. It'll come out in 3 to 20 years.
It's awesome if it ever makes it to market, which they say it will in the next 3-ish. So.
Yep. One last email from Michael Shane. Hello, guys. I am applying for an IT help desk position.
Awesome.
I'm currently studying for the A+ certification.
Okay.
I was wondering if you had any suggestions regarding what I should study or know that might be helpful in getting the position. It seems like the position is helping people in an office with their computers. I think I'm pretty tech savvy. I'm the guy everyone in my family calls with questions. I've done hardware updates on my own computers. Anyway, I love the show and appreciate the good info you guys provide. Thanks, Mike.
Well, thanks, Mike. Sounds like
If
you're
you've
well
gotten
on
into
your way.
if you've gotten into your home router before and done hardware upgrades, you're already 70% better than a lot of IT people.
Agreed.
And you just have to be
and-
someone that the team likes at this point,
Yeah,
probably.
that's a big
Well,
one. That's a
Not
big
only
one.
that, but typically help desk positions are like you may not have as the depth of experience. So in the interview, I would recommend saying, "Yeah, I have a home lab.
Yep.
Yeah, I do this kind of stuff. Yeah, I
yeah.
do have done hardware updating."
So
Because
he's
there's a
not
lot of
getting-
applicants who have not done that, and that would help you stand apart.
And I'll tell you, he's not trying to get the job right now. He could get the job if he got the right person. He's trying to get through the process, right? So he maybe needs to know what he should put on his resume or what he should do to get the job.
Yeah.
A+ is a good place to go. It gives you a firm understanding of the hardware inside, the model of the CPU, the RAM, the lanes, and all
In
that.
fact, I will tell you this right now. I was hiring for a part-time position in my department, and I had two basically equal applicants, and the deciding factor was the A+ certification one of them had.
Wow.
Like
great.
that was what set that was that was the thing that was like, nah. So it's
can
not a bad
never-
thing.
Find out what they're running, if they're a Windows or Apple shop or Linux or whatever.
Well, it's
And
hard to know
start-
that without having an interview.
In
with
the
them
interview
to ask
process,
that
I mean,
question.
in the interview
Even
process.
even ask.
Yeah, you can look them up. You can contact some people. I mean, depends. Usually people aren't interviewing cold, so they know somebody there. But find out what they're doing. Go start a Microsoft course. The MCSE training is super great for resumes. Super
Yep.
great. Everybody wants an Azure savvy person. So
100%.
Just mention Owen and you're in.
And,
boom.
if you want A+, what training opportunity or whatever, YouTube University, man.
Yep.
There
seriously.
are tons and tons of YouTube channels out there that will get you. They just say, "Hey, watch this for help prepping for your A+ certification." You know,
Yep.
there you go.
For sure.
Thanks for writing in. Is that it?
Yep, that's
Look
it.
at that. I think that's the fastest 4 emails we've ever done.
Yeah.
Is it
I
'cause-
I was on mute most of
Is
the
it
time.
because Owen was eating?
Rude, but okay. I'll allow it.
All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We might not get to all of it, but we're going to talk about the good stuff. And probably the most important thing to talk about this week was the Google event that happened today. We got to see the new Pixel phones. We got to see the new Pixel Watch, new Pixel Buds, all of that stuff.
Some
Jaren's
good,
got some
tasty stuff.
coverage on that. Yeah,
Whenever Pixel events happen, I always get Pixel envy,
I did this time for sure.
and then
I'm doing it. I'm probably going to the next one.
and then
Yeah?
inevitably something goes wrong with the Pixels a couple months down the road. I think, okay, I'm glad I didn't choose Pixel. Hopefully, this isn't the case this time.
This might be the one.
This might be the one. They announced
Pro is the next one.
4 new Pixel phones. A Pixel 9 priced at $800. A Pixel 9 Pro, which is the same size as the Pixel 9, and then a Pixel 9 Pro XL, which is the bigger version, and then Pixel 9 Pro Fold as well. They pretty much share all the same tech specs. Across the line, with the following exceptions: Pixel 9, the non-Pro version, comes with 12 gigs of RAM, whereas the Pro versions, all three of them, have 16 gigs of RAM. There are some camera differences between the Pro and the non-Pro, but the main ultra-wide and other lens, whatever it's called, they are the same, but there's upgraded selfie cam and 5x telephoto lens on the Pro version.
Is there a difference in the screens?
I think the
'Cause
Pro
in the
versions are
past-
slightly higher brightness.
In the past, there has been a difference. Usually.
More nits?
More nits.
Usually more nits, and usually something like the Pro is a 120 hertz screen and the other one's a 90 hertz screen or something like that. I don't know if they did that this year, though.
They all come with the G4 Tensor chip, which is the new Google-specific ARM chip that they have. They talked a lot about AI, quite a lot about AI. There are some really creepy photo features in there. I'll just read a quote from someone from Google. They said, and I'm quoting here, to Reynolds and the broader Pixel camera team, it's not necessarily the photo that's important, but your memory. What some of these edits do is help you create the moment that is the way you remember it. That's authentic to your memory and to the greater context, but maybe isn't authentic to a particular millisecond.
This sounds like
alternate facts.
Yeah, this sounds like
Yeah,
political jargon, alternate facts.
So,
You
like,
can clearly see the tornado, the hurricane's going to go this way. It's depicted in my photo.
Put that Sharpie down.
imagine taking photos of like your 3-year-old, 4-year-old's birthday, and 5 or 10 years later, like, wow, when did that hot air balloon fly over her birthday? That was really cool. Oh, son, that didn't exist.
That was
AI.
Imagination. So there's a really neat example of this in the MKBHD video that he put out about the new Pixel phones. There's an option where you can take a picture of a person and then have that person get out of the frame of where the picture was taken, put another person in, take a picture of them, have them get out of the frame, put another person in, take a picture of them, and the AI generated piece will put them all together into the same frame as though they took the picture, all three of them together. It's wild stuff.
Yeah.
I was definitely at my friend's house over the weekend, babe.
Exactly.
As you can clearly see.
Yeah, I don't know where I fall on the AI photo stuff. Squinky, you're a photog. What do you think?
I don't like it. I just, generally speaking, I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. I'm a do it right in the camera person, and I do as little post-production as I can, just generally speaking. So the idea that something's getting in there and monkeying with it would really bother me.
Messing with the raw footage.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like I agree to a large extent, but for phone cameras where you just can't put in the hardware, you do need software if you want the photos to look better. However, that's completely different than
this,
which is completely altering the subject matter of the photo.
Yeah, so it's a difference between doing post-production where you're just tweaking the exposure or color balancing or whatever, and the kind of post-production where you add and subtract things from the image, like you put clouds in it, or you in this case swap people out or whatever that looks like. And I'm kind of on the idea that when I take a picture, it's not documentary per se, but the picture I end up showing people has to be very representative of what actually happened. Even if I get the haze out of the sky or whatever, it still has to pretty much be an honest representation of what was going on in front of my camera.
Yeah. Google's excuse for saying, or use case for doing something like this, is saying if you have a big group of people and you want to take a picture with everyone in there, but you need someone to take the picture.
Oh, right.
You take a picture of the person who's the camera person first, and it puts them there on the screen and keeps it framed in, and then he takes over and everyone gets in and moves around so that he's in the right spot, his after image or whatever. It takes the picture and puts him in there so everyone got in the picture.
Whatever happened to just hitting the timer and running?
It's if you don't have a tripod or something to put it on,
Or just like lean it against a rock or something. That was
Yeah.
always our go-to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's lots of options. Google
Or-
is trying to solve this problem for you when
It's like
it might
a
be, maybe it's not
solution
needed.
looking for a problem.
Or you could just be like me and just avoid being in the picture altogether and just take the picture.
Classic squink.
There was another example where they took a picture of a road in between two mountains, and he highlighted the road, put in the prompt, put a river in here, and it completely changed the photo from an ugly road between two mountains to a beautiful river. That
I
goes
can
too
see-
far.
I can
In my
see where this
opinion.
could be coming out as kind of a new art form, maybe. Like you're not like you're using real.
Boo.
You're using like
just got
general
pissed.
scenery,
AI bro.
and then having AI like.
Once
use
again,
that.
I'm torn on the issue, so I'm going to argue for a side that Owen makes here that I don't necessarily all the way agree with. But it's a tool. Again, it's like saying I'm going to use Photoshop to create art, something from nothing with a tool such as Photoshop or MS Paint or whatever have you. Right? There's something there to say, hey, look, this is my medium is AI. Right?
This is the pop music of art, right? So we're just taking samples.
Everything's a remix.
right?
But it's
Everything's
even worse
remixed.
than autotune. I mean, it's not simply taking something and having the computer tweak it so it sounds better. It's actually having the computer be the singer.
Creating it from
Agreed.
nothing. See,
mean,
in
the-
my
the
st-
Well, not
mountains
only
and
that,
river-
but it's trained on
mountains and
other
river
people's
thing.
work.
yeah,
The
and
mountains,
trained
Right,
on
so-
that.
That's bad too.
I'm
Well,
not
I don't
convinced
think-
on my argument. I'm just saying it's an argument.
I don't think that the example that Jaron said with the two mountains and the river, it just replaced the color basically and said, I don't want that to be a road. I want it to be a river. I think it'd be cool.
That doesn't
that's
exist
not-
though. It's
when-
not a
when I-
real
It
place.
doesn't have
So,
to be.
but
Art
what?
doesn't
Okay,
have
so
to be.
Jared, hold on.
Let me say this, Owen. When I look at a road, I never think. I think that's a river, actually.
No, it should. It's just,
That
somebody
looks like a river.
Somebody pulled up here and went, "Man, I wonder what it looked like before."
If
this
we just
stupid
change the
road
color of
was
that
here."
road, it'd look exactly like a river.
Yeah.
Might as well be a river.
you know. But
Here's
they use it
something
as a
else,
building
though.
block. They use it as a sample. Like that
This
wasn't
is-
art.
this
That
is
wasn't
actually-
coming from nothing.
This is a really popular thing that happens right now. People are going to thrift stores and buying old paintings, like
Yeah.
old, and then
And
painting
painting
over
them
the
in.
top of it
Yeah,
and creating
yeah.
something new,
Well,
but
that's
still
been a big
leaving
thing for a
elements. Right? That's what Jaron's saying. Is like
Is that any different
replacing
than
the
what AI is
river with a
doing?
road is
Taking
bad, but that's what
something-
these people are doing with old thrift store
But
art.
They're
it's
just
still
What's the
people.
difference?
It's still people versus a machine.
I mean, the prompts are what.
It
Well,
totally
that's-
ignores the
the
artistic
machine-
intent because it's a
the
machine.
machine's not doing it unless
So they can't
prompted.
automate their work.
Yeah, it's just
I don't
prompts.
know.
Do you ever automate your work,
Art
Jaron?
shouldn't be automated.
See, here's
What
mean-
about
AI should be
accounting?
used in the.
No.
I
Isn't
think you
accounting
mean,
art?
No,
the
it's
phrase-
not.
the
It's
phrase
the
you're
worst
looking
profession
for-
you could choose.
The phrase you're looking for is artimated. That's
Artimated.
what that is.
Oh, dude, if you don't put that on
Artimated.
Twitter, I might go see if somebody
Hashtag.
else has.
Everyone will hate
Artimated.
you. All the artists will hate you.
The-
Anyway,
the one
going
thing-
back to the Pixel event. The Pixels were redesigned. It no longer has a back Geordie LaForge visor. It's now rounded off in kind of an island rather than going across the entire phone.
And it sticks out further.
It sticks out further. It's gigantic, but
Here's-
even worse
see?
is the little
There's the
hump.
Geordie.
Yeah, there's Geordie. Even worse is the hump on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I don't know what's going on with that thing. It is
It's massive.
massive.
Okay, but doesn't the fold look like a tricorder? And did you see
Oh,
the
now
see the
don't
effects,
get-
the automatic
That's what I
translation
mean.
stuff?
Don't
that
get
it
me
can do?
wrong.
I still want
I
the
think
Fold.
The Fold is awesome.
Yeah.
looking.
Oh.
If I had to
if-
choose a phone right now, it
I
would be
would
the
pick the
Fold.
Fold. Yep,
It looks-
100%.
You do
It
it.
looks
You,
amazing.
I would.
You do the fold.
I would.
I am too hard on everything in my pockets. I like throw my phone in there.
You put rocks in there?
I literally do.
Change keys.
Rock dogging, Tony.
He's out there rock dogging, putting
rock
rocks
dogging.
in
Again,
his
I'm with
pocket.
Owen.
See?
Are your
Dirt,
hands
dust,
playing with
lint,
stuff in your pockets a little bit too much?
My
sometimes?
rocks sometimes.
Okay.
I heard it.
Pocket pool.
Anyway, I don't know how you guys gonna get like a grain of sand gets between there and it just
No,
game over.
They've put in stuff to help against that.
They're getting better and more robust over the years.
There's a article on Engadget that was published yesterday that is one of their writers has had the first gen Fold for a full year. And
dude
he's-
has no kids or cats.
No, he has kids. He specifies specifically in there. And he's amazed at how well the Fold has held up. He's dropped it on a beach as well, too. And he said
Really?
he
In the sand.
Yep, in the sand. He said he opened it up and he could hear it go as he opened
Yep.
it. But he said he wiggled it a little bit and blew into it like an NES cartridge, and he
the
got all
Oh, that's what I want. I want a phone I have to
classics.
blow into every once in a while. Perfect.
Yeah.
You could put that right on top of the router you have to
Let me
restart.
tell you, Lando, when Apple finally comes out with theirs, it's
You're
going
gonna
to have
love
all
it,
the same
and
issues,
you're gonna want it.
and you're going to want one just as much.
I guess I'm just not as brave yet. I really love them.
Yeah.
I just am not brave enough for the hardware switch yet, I guess.
I would do it.
Yeah, me too.
It
Wrapping up
involves
the
being-
event.
They're still very
Involves being-
expensive though, $1,700.
Yeah, pricey.
Yeah, they're
Wrapping up the
pricey.
event, they announced new Google Pixel watches. The Watch 3 has a larger 45mm option, which is great. It's a circular face, which I love. I
looks
wish
good.
Apple would come out with a circular face. Pixel Buds Pro 2 gets upgraded. Just basic earbud stuff. It has
twice as good noise canceling, supposedly, 1 hour longer battery life, and is also more expensive than the previous Gen Pros. So,
yep. And doesn't
Everything.
it interface with Gemini as well?
yeah, it's got that. Yeah, well, I mean, it goes through the phone, but yeah,
That's what I heard.
it's
Is this
got
is a
that.
Gemini focused?
Yep.
Gemini
AI
centric.
everything.
Gemini
AI, all the
centric.
things.
AI.
So there you go. You know what though? That we can wrap that up and go right into a not so good AI story about Humane.
Oh
The
boy.
AI pin that is floundering.
Is
This
the
one is
one-
quick.
Yeah.
People are returning the Humane AI pins faster than Humane can actually sell them. So their sales are negative right now.
Oh, that's not good.
Which
How many did we sell last week? Minus 200.
We sold negative 200. Sir.
and for a company with only one product and has nothing else,
Oh, it could be. This sounds
clock
like the
is
end.
ticking.
It's too bad. I really wanted that to be a good product. So bad.
It's just too early. The hardware's not there yet.
Yeah, they got the.
I think Google or Apple can make it.
I don't
If-
think
if
could
they
right
wanted
now.
to.
No, I
Yeah,
don't
they're
think
they're
could.
just waiting. They're waiting for it to go down. Then they'll buy it at a steal.
But I don't think they would because we have phones and phones are better in every way. So
That's the thing.
why?
The Humane review from MKBHD was fantastic, and he argues that exact point right there. It's like, why would I have this device to do things in a worse manner that I can already do on my phone better? So
Yeah. What's a good use case for this? Is there
there
one?
isn't one right now.
No.
I don't think there
yeah.
is.
I don't want
It-
to have
it
a pin
was-
on my shirt everywhere I go.
It was 100% a solution looking for a problem.
Yeah.
So
I
anyway,
like the projector
second
thing on my
story with that.
hand.
Yeah. That was.
yeah. Would you
that's
rather
neat.
use a phone like this, or would you rather use your projector like this? up
So
here?
Tony, here's a problem I'm realizing I have. I have an addiction to my phone and TikTok and the social media apps
I could have told
that
you
is unhealthy.
Just
So
delete 'em.
something
I
like that
deleted
could
Twitter
help
on my
me.
phone.
Yes.
Maybe this,
I haven't looked at it
maybe,
since.
Maybe they sell
good
this to
point.
recovery people. Landon, maybe this goes out to addiction recovery centers, and this is the solution. You guys are listening. You
Nah,
cut me in on some of
just
the
get
money.
a Nokia candy bar phone. They still sell
and
those.
they give this out as a anti-addiction thing.
Perfect.
Maybe
you
you
go.
never want to use
Can we,
technology
can we
again.
talk about my
The expe-
AI story, Tony?
The experience for this is so bad that you will hate your phone and everything related to it now. So here you go. All right, rolling in the very
an AI
cool
story. I have an AI story.
application. Yeah, it's your turn, Lando.
Thank you. I just want to make sure we didn't
Jeez.
miss it because
I
sometimes
was-
you miss the great
I
transitions.
was segueing into it. And
Sometimes you don't do that.
interrupted me.
I was doing the Jaren thing.
Yeah.
So this is actually I
whatever.
read across this a couple weeks ago. I've been sitting on this one for a minute now. This is actually, in my opinion, one of the cooler applications of AI I've seen yet. So there's a lady here I read about. Her name is oh my goodness, Jance Poole is her name. She's been studying elephants since the 80s. And one of the things her and her team have realized is that elephants have individual calls. So they will make a noise, and they'll realize that none of the elephants react to that noise except for one. And that happens over and over again. And eventually now what they've done is they've proven that elephants have names through AI. They've plugged all of those noises into a statistical model, AI essentially, to prove that elephants have names and actually have individual communication between each other. So there's a company, their name is the Earth Species Project, sorry.
ESP
and what
for short.
ESP. And what they are trying to do is use AI to communicate with animals. Really,
I read
really
about
cool.
the one with whales for this. I've heard
That's
whales,
part of this, yeah.
whale song,
That's part of this, yeah. Is they're also doing this they're trying to do it with whales, but because they're able to take English and map it, and they're actually what they're doing is they're creating models that look like a geometric representation of the entire language. Essentially, it looks like a galaxy with relational models between every single word, and AI can then use the distance and the data points and the numbers because it essentially becomes math at that point to do translations. That's one of the ways that, like Google Phone, we just talked about, does the language translation so easily and so quick nowadays is through this AI natural language processing and these models they're coming up with. But
Yeah,
what
we're
they're
gonna
trying
say-
to
we're
do,
What do you think the first words are gonna be? What do you think they're gonna do when elephants finally learn we can talk to them?
oh, I have no idea. But isn't it
F
cool to
you.
think about? Like, this is a really,
That's-
like, I don't know. I thought this was the most interesting
First
thing
words.
I have seen.
You.
Suck it, bro.
Yeah.
You humans suck.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's-
I thought this was super cool.
That is pretty cool, and it shows that that's the thing that AI does the best is take these massive data sets and be able to organize
Yeah.
or parse or you know make it so because this is the kind of thing that sure a human could do it, but it would take
Iteration, right?
forever.
Like it should keep itself out of
If at all.
out of the
If at
creative
all, yeah.
space and get really into the theoretical science space, like finding new drugs and connections and stuff, because they look at the massive data sets and connections. They've already found tons of different
Different new chemicals.
Yeah,
new
so
chemicals and
I think
and
I've told you this story
drugs.
before, but we had a person come talk at UVU about how AI has changed research. So they had a research study with autistic kids and their parents. So they went out and they surveyed, I think it was like 50 to 100 different parents about different early onset signs of autism. And they would give their survey responses. And typically what was done in the past is they would hire an army of grad students to go through all these responses and like find markers that like every one of the parents would say, and they find patterns, and it would take weeks and months of work and blah blah blah. And now AI can do it in a matter of minutes. Like it's just changing the way we look at data and the way we analyze data to astounding results. Like it's just incredible. So like there's a lot of
uses for AI.
yeah,
like
there's
that.
a lot of that's my point. One of the
there's-
things I wanted to say is there's a lot of evil things for AI for sure, and we can talk about the art and all that kind of stuff. And
There's a lot
that's a
of
fascinating
really
conversation. But there is some really cool use cases
good
to be
use
had.
cases, yeah, for AI, absolutely.
Like talking to animals.
Like
I can't wait to talk to my
I
cat.
like
cannot
talking
wait.
to animals.
Tell me you haven't already tried though, Lando. You're on TikTok enough to hear the videos where the guy
Kevin
talks
sent
to his
me
cat.
Kevin sent me a comic right here where it's a little kid in a farmyard yelling moo 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 at some cows, and the cow looks to the other one and says, "You hear that, Dune? That kid just called your mom a whore."
We cannot
Got to
wait.
be very careful with letting AI talk for you when you don't know what's going on.
Indeed. All right. I think there was another AI story too that we should
I
probably.
have
Should we just
mine
do
is kind of AI adjacent.
AI
the-
adjacent?
The AI tool enables FaceTime swapping. Do you want to do that one?
Sure.
All right, it's quick. I just want to say, who should we have on our podcast next week? Because I'm going to give this a go.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Okay, that's it. I'm gonna.
No, you
I'm
can't
gonna,
do that. I don't think you can
Oh.
do that.
It's not going to be the. It's not going to be the voice. It's going to be me in a Neil deGrasse Tyson suit.
Yeah, that's problematic for many reasons, Owen.
Indeed.
Okay.
I'll allow it. I'm
Like I said,
down for
you
this.
can.
Jaron,
You
okay. Who is it then, Jaron?
Albert Einstein.
You know what?
There you
what's
go.
what's the guy? What you know what? I got
Oppenheimer.
The perfect. No, I got the.
Yeah. Alan Turing.
I got it right here.
Stephen Hawking.
No, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna come in as Nathan Drake. I think I'm really gonna step all over Jaron.
Jaron's
I'm gonna
desk
step-
can't
I'm
handle
gonna-
that kind of abuse.
So
From
here's
underneath.
from underneath. It's not bolted down, so it might wreck some stuff.
Jostle the camera.
Oh my god!
Big problems.
Big problems. I mean, big problems.
You're gross.
Are we though? So okay, so there is here's the thing. Here's what it is. It's a free GitHub project called Deep Live Cam, and this Deep Live Cam is software basically will overlay
not a good
over.
name.
I know it's really not. It's
is
just
not a
not.
good
I get
name.
it. I heard it and I was like, yeah, well, it's very direct if you take it at the But basically, this software, once you get it running, and by the way, it is not this stuff is still not click and install stuff. You have to. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. If you don't, you can run it on your computer, but if you don't have a good enough GPU, it's going to be completely CPU dependent, and it will look like garbage, freeze slow.
yeah.
But if you've got a decent graphics card, I have heard that you can do this. This is one of the ways that people are faking job interviews right now, where they will come in to remove, since a lot of job interviews are done over Zoom now. This will overlay and put on some face that they don't think will be as biased, will have as much racial bias or cultural bias or whatever. They'll change it, and because by the time you get hired on your team or whatever, and you just become a number in the cog in the wheel, a lot of times you jump on the meetings like, I guess that's not what he must have been a bad hair day. I don't know, but you can now get this program. They put it out on GitHub and install it and overlay it on any type of webcam. And so I'm going to try it here. I'm going to take more ADHD medication, and I'm going to and really go for it. At first I was like, Rowan was like, yeah, this is great. And then Rowan went and read the directions, said, we're going to need 2 Rowans for this because this is great, but this is hard.
I need 2 Ritalins, please.
So I'm gonna give it a go. No promises, but this is a software you can get now. And we've talked about this. We've all seen this coming.
I just want to change my camera so I look like a cat.
Yeah.
So I can say
You can
I am not a cat.
Using
You can.
FaceTime.
The way that this works is you can go get any public
I am not a cat.
picture, any picture from any social media,
I am
and
prepared to go forward.
AI maps it to you and your lighting in your environment, and it puts all the stuff in there and
The
maps
fact that it does it in real time is what's the crazy
That's
part.
what's
That's
crazy.
the crazy part. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what
we've
that
had
gap
deep fakes for a long time.
Yeah.
Years. But the fact that it can do it in real time and keep up with how you move your face, that's
Yeah.
the crazy part.
Like we saw that. What's that game? Star Citizen? Is
Yeah,
that
Star Citizen, yeah.
That. By the way, that demo that they did of that. Still, I go watch that because it's hilarious. But it blew my mind that they could do real time face mapping. So
Yep.
we'll have to see. I'll maybe Nathan Drake will be on the podcast next week for a moment. I don't know.
I better be short. I don't think. Yeah.
I don't think Jaren's desk can handle it.
No.
Okay,
I'll
what's
come
my
prepared, don't
what's my
worry.
backup? What's my backup character then?
Mickey Mouse.
No,
Sully from The Last of Us, from Uncharted.
You just spoke
Okay.
blasphemy, man.
Okay.
They're both
I'll do-
Naughty Dog games.
I could do.
What does
I
it
could
matter?
I can do Pedro Pascal from.
There you go, Pedro
from
Pascal
the-
from The Last of Us.
from the Last of Us show. Any picture.
Joel.
Yeah.
All right, I got an AI story here too. It's not a good one though. NVIDIA has got the finger pointed at them, and I think for good reason here. They have been accused of scraping a human lifetime's worth of videos per day to train
Holy
their
cow.
AI models.
You always have to ask the
video.
question: where are you getting your samples from?
Exactly. This was brought to my attention. Well, brought to my attention. I mean, I saw it from MKBHD on. Man, this is like an MKBHD Love Fest episode for me. I've mentioned him like 4
Title.
times. But he talked about it on his Twitter, where he found out his channel was one of the ones that was being scraped
Yeah.
for the training of this NVIDIA model. And the worst part about this is everyone up to the CEO, Jensen, knew that this was happening and was fine with it.
Yeah.
And so that's not very cool, NVIDIA, to sit there and just scrape the videos off the internet, everyone else's use or everyone else's work. And
My understanding is that
build it
they
in.
interviewed a bunch of the creators, and a lot of the creators like, look, I wouldn't have even minded it's not a like for me like,
Just
but I
ask
just want it
permission
licensed.
at least,
I want
you
it
know?
licensed,
Yeah.
right? Like, or at least accredited. But you know, and I think AI and your sample sets is going to be the legal linchpin for all of AI regulation. You know, like
gonna be
Reddit,
huge for sure.
Reddit shutting down their AI. Like before, we were like, man, we don't have that cool Reddit app anymore that could do this infinite API calls and whatever. But they knew like AI was only going to need more and more sample sets, and if you've got one of the largest libraries to pull from,
That's cash
so
money.
so YouTube is
That's
basically
value.
where
Yep.
NVIDIA was pulling from, right? It has
Mostly,
to be.
yeah, a lot of it was from YouTube.
Has to be because it's like an open platform. So
Yeah, so it equates to roughly 426,320 hours per day
Whew.
video
Oh, that's so much.
per
and that's
day.
training for AI video.
AI video model training. Yeah.
Whoa,
That's
So,
silly.
Anyway, yeah, that's crazy, and
legal gray area though right now. Like
that's what they basically say.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, I mean,
they're kind of blaming YouTube. They're saying, look, it's open.
no
it's
rules
scrapable.
against it.
Like Google
So-
wants those results scraped in their search engine, so they leave YouTube open.
And Google
There you
is
go.
actually even on the side of NVIDIA on this.
Yeah,
It
they're
argues
like-
AI scraping is fair use.
Yeah,
So yeah, just it's shady though, if you ask me. You know, that's
it is
not
for
cool.
sure. Bad form.
Shame on you, NVIDIA. Make your 5090 less expensive now because of that, so I
Yeah.
don't feel as guilty buying it. They
Is that how
won't.
that works?
No, it's not. But I like less expensive tech. so
Maybe you'll just win one again.
I'll
Didn't you
shoehorn
get
it
a?
in there.
Didn't you get an?
No,
email?
I won the opportunity to buy
Oh,
one.
you won the opportunity to
yeah,
pre-order.
yeah, I got a front of the list ticket basically from them.
Ugh.
'Cause
I have registered every single one of my gadgets since that
Yeah,
day, Tony.
I-
every single
Dude,
one.
NVIDIA knows how much money I've spent on their GPUs and other things over the years, and they're probably just like, they probably have it tiered, I bet, in a database, and they're like, okay,
Yeah.
we send this one out to this guy, that's a guaranteed sale. Let's send him a ticket right now.
Every single time before that, I was like, register. Why don't you just kick rocks? I don't need any more.
No way,
spam,
dude.
You know?
I even do their surveys. I'm part of their I signed up for their insiders survey club. So
Of course you are.
yeah, I do their surveys every couple of weeks when they send them out.
For free, by the way. You get
Oh yeah,
nothing.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I
For
offer
the
it up.
privilege to pay them money.
I offer it up
But
on the
also-
altar of
Yeah.
the data in
Yeah.
the hopes that I'll get chosen again to buy a
exactly.
5090.
It's like those aliens down there, like the claw. You know?
Yep. All right. I wanted to talk about this too. Jaron, good news for gluten intolerant folks.
Huh? I'm the original.
You are one of the OGs.
You are not.
Yes, look it up.
Tell me one person that was diagnosed before 89.
You must be the original.
Boom. got 'em.
Exactly.
So there has been some work done to finally identify where the gluten intolerance begins, and it specifically calls out.
How does that help
celiac.
me?
You just
Well-
let you blame somebody.
Here's the thing. So there's a fairly lengthy article here on sciencealert.com that I linked to, but the Cliff Notes version of it is basically they have been able to see what the molecule looks like that your body reacts to when you have celiac disease, and the problem is the gluten molecule looks like this one that your body is trained to react to in some people in their genetics.
Yeah, I'm
And
picky, so
Can't you
Yeah,
wait for
exactly.
Can't you wait for CRISPR to come along where you just like give yourself like a pill?
That's
and
what
it
I'm
just,
saying.
And it's
So
just
cool.
like it's like you need a viral reset. So we're resetting all of your body's viral memory, and all these diseases that were like autoimmune diseases.
They could
You get a fresh start.
cure that. So here it is specifically. It's called an HLA, a human leukocyte antigen, and it's a human leukocyte antigen protein that your body holds on to some of those of their fallen basically like fallen trophies to say this is the thing you need to look for.
Yep,
This is the
right.
thing you need to fight against.
Yep.
And there are two proteins shaped to hold chunks or that are shaped similar to chunks of gluten peptide, and that's why your body
Jaren's-
says,
So
"Hey,
Jaren's Excel
get
sheet.
it.
Jaren's
I need
Excel
to
sheet of all
hack
of
the
his stuff.
mainframe and delete
Yeah.
that part.
exactly, yep,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of they don't talk about it too much, but that's the thing that I immediately thought of was CRISPR gene editing. It's like
Yeah.
if you could get in there and tell your genes to not react to that specific protein or peptide, then maybe a cure for celiac disease. So
And
Or
maybe
any
Jen could
autoimmune.
eat bread.
maybe Jaren can have the
Can
delicious
you imagine
glory
the first guy?
that is Costco pizza, or
Yeah.
perhaps the buttermilk.
Dude,
The buttermilk
Costco?
buttermilk bar donut from Lehigh Bakery.
I would literally
Costco-
gain like 50 pounds in a couple weeks.
I believe
Costco
it.
pizza will kill you, but it is a good death.
I don't understand like like Costco pizza is so much better than it has any right to be.
It's seriously.
You know,
for the
a
price
huge pizza for
and-
$10, and it is freaking tasty.
Yep.
So anyway,
can't
yeah, I
have
just
that
thought that was
anymore.
pretty cool. Some hope, perhaps, for Jaren. Let's see.
I
Do
keep
we
it,
want
I
to?
keep an eye on that too for diabetes. Same idea.
Same idea. Yep. Do we want to do a quick lightning round, or should we just?
Yeah, lightning round.
Okay, so I got a real quick. I'll do mine first. I got a real quick one that's been sitting here for a while. Actually, I'm going to do this one instead. There was some really cool news out of Western Digital. They announced. First of all, did you know that there's a storage conference, the Future of Memory and Storage Conference, every
MemCon?
year? FMS 2024.
A missed opportunity for MemCon.
I know MemCon would have been better, but Western Digital showed off its roadmap, and they are basically saying within the next couple of years they're going to have SD cards that are 8 terabytes
Whoa.
in an SD card.
That's
Here's the
insane.
thing. Here's the thing. I just upgraded this NAS to SSDs, NVMe's. Can you believe when they're gonna just be pocket-sized NAS
Oh,
that
yeah.
are just running off of these micro SD cards that are, and they've got fast enough read-write speeds to make it work?
They talked
That
about
would be epic.
16 terabyte external SSDs for consumers,
Jiminy Cricket.
and then they talked about some of their whatchamahoots, enterprise level stuff. So we're talking on these enterprise level solid state drives, 128 terabyte drives, 128 terabyte solid state drives.
Storage makes
just-
me far more excited than it has any right to.
Right?
I know.
I'm in the same
It
boat.
really
right?
does.
So, yeah, they showed off a bunch of that, and I think they said they have a, yeah, here it is, set to debut soon, a 4 terabyte micro SD card coming to market soon. 4 terabytes in the
Dude,
size of your pinky fingernail.
Density.
It's just absolutely
Oh,
crazy.
Density.
So
I
there
just
you
have
go.
to believe that the read-write speeds are going to be crap on those.
So they said the read-write speeds on those will be like A1 tier at first. So you're still getting
Yeah.
100 megabytes per second, which isn't terrible.
Better than a spinny drive.
Yeah,
Right?
That's
Still-
still
you're
better
still
than a
better
spin
than that.
drive. Yep.
So I think more of the concern would be how many read-writes can I have before the cells start degrading when
Yeah,
you're talking about
right.
something
One
more
time for the
compact.
entire
You
SSD.
can
Like,
fill it up
as you-
once. That's
yeah.
it.
And as you're thinking about use case for this, you're like, oh man, I will never ever have to change my camera's memory card. But
My-
how many pictures?
We're
would it
pretty
take
much
for-
at that point anyway.
Yeah, I feel
Exactly,
like we
like-
are. Especially if you have something to overwrite the old pictures on your security camera every 90 days or whatever,
Right?
you just never
Yeah.
run out of space. Anyway, that's my lightning round. I just thought that was pretty rad. Jaren.
All right. Apple's policies for Patreon are very asinine. Apple's up to this point, Patreon hasn't had to pay Apple's 30% commission when people subscribe to patrons through the app on iPhone. They were able to use their own in-app payment setup there. However, Apple is now going to require them to use Apple's in-app payment option, which
Boo.
means any
They start-
creator that you subscribe to through the Patreon app on iOS, Apple will now get 30% of that.
You want to know
So
what's
just go away from that
ridiculous?
and use the browser, right?
That's
Like,
less,
That's what I do.
That's
Yep.
more. That's more than Patreon makes
Yes.
by a large margin.
And so this affects us, right? Apple's inserting itself between us and our audience, even though Apple has nothing to do
Just want a piece
with
of that
us or our audience.
The only thing they did was post the app to download in the
That's
App
it.
Store. That's
Yeah.
it.
And
So-
verify it's bug free and like hacker free.
Lando, you shut your mouth.
I'm not
But
wrong.
Is that worth 30%?
Is that worth 30%?
I did not make that argument, did I?
Yeah, no,
I'm just
it's
telling you
not.
more things.
I don't want to hear you more things. Get
Yeah,
outta here.
even John Gruber, who is big Apple fanboy here, doesn't agree with this.
Yeah.
I didn't say I agreed with it, Jaron.
I hope that
I never
that-
said you did.
I hope the
Tony did.
uproar. I hope the uproar is enough that they will not.
I
go
think
through with
Patreon,
this.
or Patreon will just stop letting people subscribe through the Apple app.
They
I mean,
No,
can't,
they
though.
can't. Apple's not letting them do that, or else
Yeah.
they will delist Patreon in the
Yeah.
App
So just
Store.
delist the app. If I was Patreon, I'd be like, sorry, no, more
but the thing
Patreon
is,
app.
There's so much content that gets consumed through the app
through
on
the app
iOS.
on the phone. yeah.
Right,
know.
like video, audio.
audio.
Like we're pretty
Yeah.
we're fairly tame with our content, but some creators go exclusively
Put a
through
lot
Patreon.
more on there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Anyway, lames.
yeah, it's these kind of things just piss me off to no end.
Yep. Oh, and do you have a lightning round?
Yep, just a quick update on the Microcode Intel Microcode thing. You know, it's
Oh,
affecting
yeah,
desktops, right?
Yep.
Desktop processor only. Thanks, Jaron. Last week I was concerned about that because my work laptop and a lot of laptops where I'm working now are 13, 14. But they put out a cap. They're stopping the damage at a 1.55 volt cap. That's their
Oh, so they're
BIOS
just
fix.
limiting the power.
They're just limiting the power. A lot of people were afraid this would then limit the clock cycles and the performance of the chip. That has not proven to be the case. Some people are reporting a 0.07. It's either 0.7 or 0.07. Go read it. I don't know. But anyway, not quite
Article
1%.
3.
You know, I know it says it somewhere. I don't
Well,
wanna
either
go-
way,
it's-
if you're talking about
it's
0.7%
barely-
or
it's less than
0.07%,
1%. Yeah.
that's within margin of error.
Yeah, that's
when you're
basically what
testing,
they're saying.
so.
They're saying this is a rounding error when
Yep.
when they're doing it. So you're safe there. The update I wanted to give is that they will not be pushing this through Windows Update. So if you need this patch, if you've got a desktop chip,
Why wouldn't they do that?
you have to go to Intel's BIOS and download page and get it directly. So
Is it because it's not possible to do through a Windows update?
I don't know why they didn't really mention why they're not pushing it through. I
Because
think maybe
they don't do BIOS updates through Windows updates either.
Oh,
So, I
okay.
mean,
Well, that's maybe
know.
that's why then, because it's a
Yeah.
BIOS update in general. I thought.
yeah.
I also you might want to check your vendors app, like Lenovo's ThinkVantage, Dell Command,
Yeah, they'll update
HP,
it
whatever.
there.
That's usually where you'll get those BIOS updates. It wasn't clear if they'd push it through there either. So, but if you've got one of those, better the sooner the better, because if you are already experiencing instability, there is no fix. This is not a fix. It's a stop the bleeding, stop the damage. So if you're already experiencing issues, they've extended the warranty and they encourage you to go through the RMA process if you're experiencing instability, because it will never get better. So,
They do say also that it's toggleable within the BIOS. So if you want to go higher than 1.55 volts, if you're one of those overclocker folks, you still can. They're not removing the ability. They're just changing what the baseline is, basically, the
baseline,
default
yeah.
setting.
because
So-
most people don't. The average consumer doesn't mess with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Well, there you go. I'm glad they got a fix, and I hope they do a good job making good for all the folks that have
Yeah.
had their CPUs
It's been a bloodbath to them
nuked by it.
the last couple weeks.
Yep. Lando, you got one?
Pass.
Pass. Squinky, you got one?
No.
Okay. Well, that is it. Thank you for making it to the end of this episode. Before we go, big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers, patreon.com/helpdeskarcade. If you donate $6 a month or more, you get a shout out on the air, along with all the other stuff that you get being a
The
patron
in-between.
member. Yep, that's coming up real soon here. And those shout outs, Jaron has them for us right now.
Thank you to David Roshinsky, Aaron Faulkner, Connor Keesaw, and Wolfball Tony. Thank you, guys. Jason Eatman, Mies Chonis, If It Flies, It Spies. Archie the Archivist, Be the 8-Year-Old. Michael Shane, Tony the Home Theater Geek. Travis Johnson, Buy Geek Show Arcade Helpdesk stickers at Pyman Graphics on Etsy. All proceeds go to Lee George Cade's medical bills.
Meatballs.
Jeremy,
meatballs,
No Name,
mountains.
No Color, Keslow, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, the in-between rating plus 25, Matt Nelson, Harry Patch, Wesley, Adam, Stuart Lloyd.
Shut up.
I haven't started it yet. I haven't started it yet. The problem with society is
mountains,
there are no
meatballs.
molehills that can't be mountain bald. I was so close.
Bald.
What is mountain bald?
We'd all
I
like to
don't
know.
know.
Mountain ball.
Oh,
Ryan Eminem hecked. I was so close.
Did you see his face before he screwed it up? He's like, I'm not going to.
He starts
it.
over. He starts over again
Nailed it.
on Geek Show
Oh, crap.
Arcade.
oh.
So good.
All right. Well, good try, Jaron. Maybe next one. Thank you, Patreon backers. And that is it for today's episode. We'll see you on Geek Show Arcade or in the next episode of Geek Show Help Desk. But until then, Lando, take us out.
If you think your keyboard keys might have been stolen, try flipping your keyboard over. Be an end user.